Hey, welcome to another episode of Uncle Ricky's House. Look, um, you ever think about like what it feels like to be like maybe a Trump co-defendant? Part of the people that have been called out by name for participating in basically uh, a conspiracy, maybe a soft coup, maybe even a hard coup that was allegedly committed by the president, the former 45th president of the United States, uh, with the January 6th, what we call an insurrection. Most of the country calls it an insurrection. Most of the country wants to know why it happened, wants to know how it happened, and wants to know who's responsible for it. Most of the country feels like a former president, no matter who that president is, Democratic or Republican or even vice president, should be keeping highly compartmentalized secret intelligence documents and government papers chilling in their garages, in their bathrooms, in their basements post leaving the White House. The majority of Americans feel like this may be wrong, and they want to know why, and they want to do something about it. But America, our legal system, our justice system, it seems to be clogged up right now with these shenanigans committed by the 45th former president of the United States, the 45th president of the United States. Some who say that he still is the United States running things until it comes to being accountable for the mess that we're in, and then all of a sudden it has nothing to do with Donald John Trump. It's all on Joseph R. Biden. But irregardless, that guy Trump, when he was the president and now that he wants to be the president again, is probably one of the biggest problems America faces. And it's all because of the power of the presidency. But right now I want to talk about the consequences of riding with the president, especially not when you're riding with one like Biden who, it's not a fast ride, it's a slow ride, but so far it tends to be steady, if not, a little bumpy. And you got to be careful when you get to the curves and the fork in the road, because you got to remember, an 80-year-old is behind the wheel, but, we still go from point A to B. Hopefully we'll make it to Dollar General before blowing up getting to point C. But back to the consequences of riding with Trump. Trump is, if he isn't in the in the drowning category, he's definitely down for the second time and about to swallow the next big gulp of water with whatever his legal troubles may throw his way. Because he's been criminally indicted 4 times in 4 months. No other president has done this. And now this last one in Georgia, it's a whole bunch of people around him. Up until this point, on the federal level, it's only been like two, three people, 4 people indicted with him as actually named as co-defendants. In Georgia, there's 19 people in this whole thing. 18 of them are co-defendants with the former 45th president of the United States. It's a circus. But I'm not saying that in a bad, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. Legal experts believe that Fonnie Willis probably has the best case. One, because it is a state case in Georgia with state laws, and two, because you don't have the niceties that the federal court system tries to put in place when they try people. I guess it's a stereotype thing that the federal crime is always going to be a high priority crime, regardless of who's being tried. But right now, in the state case, maybe it's a good thing that some of these people are actually being treated like everybody else for the first time, or as close as possible to being treated like everybody else for the first time, because most of the people named in this case can't stand the heat, and that's what Fonnie Willis is really, really counting on, that a lot of them are going to turn state's evidence roll over, and the only person that they can roll over and expect some kind of leniency, some kind of forbearance for their own criminal involvement in the schemes of Donald Trump is Donald Trump himself. But there's consequences connected to following or being a follower of Trump. If you go down the list of names of just picking a few out of the air on random, you can see that following Trump is not conducive to, let's say, maybe long-term public popularity. You got people like Amoroso. Amoroso was the darling, of Trump during his TV days, and his first couple of years in the White House, they were ace boon, and I'm not going to use the last term coon, but Amoroso got popularity by her relationship with Trump. His black darling on the Apprentice, and black darling in the White House, one of supposedly one of his favorite advisors, at least for the photo ops. And then one day she wasn't, and now she's out there in the ethosphere trying to find another name to latch on, because one minute she's Trump's buddy, and then she made as much money as she could being Trump's enemy, and now she's been away from Trump so long that she's no longer relevant in Trump circles. So Amoroso is cast off into the lost and found bin. And I mean, we got nastyites like Steve Bannon. He had his quote unquote whiteboard in his office next to the president. He was supposed to be the number one mover and shaker behind the president's autocratic move to fame, the elevation of fascism as an American political regime. That was all Steve Bannon. But where's Steve Bannon now after his build the wall thing was exposed for the criminal enterprise that it was? He's actually should be in jail. We don't know why, because that's another fallacy of the federal court system. He's convicted, he's been found guilty, and he's been sentenced to a year in jail. He's working on another conviction now. Maybe they want to get him 2 for 1, but the question is, he big time Trump supporter. I mean, he's had his moments when he says Trump was full of it, and then he came right back and kissed the ring just like the rest of them, because it's money in the bank for him. Steve Bannon, Trump supporter, been under the bus, been run over the bus, getting ready to back up and get his ass again. He should be in jail. Consequences of supporting none other than Donald John Trump. Let's talk about Mike Pence. Mike Pence is, he's out there trying to get to the office that he played second banana behind again, and probably doesn't stand the Ice Cube's chance in hell. But Pence's very life, not only his political career is probably over with, and it's not basically, you can't really say it's following Trump over the edge, because Trump tried to have him, didn't basically try to stop him from being hung by a angry mob, that a lot of the people in the mob that when they went to court said that they were there because Trump called them there. They were just following the advice, the orders of their president. Another bunch of thousands of people dumb enough to get behind Madman and under the bus. Tire marks up and down, days in jail, years in jail, months in jail, lives ruined, nameless people from the population of this country, mowed down by their belief, indulgence in Trumpism. Some of them are sorry. Some of them don't want to have anything else to do with Trump. Some say they're sorry, and as soon as the judge walks out the room, they say Trump won. But that was after the judge maybe knocked off half the sentence that the federal government wanted to give them for their participation in the January 6th riots. Trumpism, following the hitching your wagon to the star, and the star goes off the cliff and you go off the cliff with it. Where do you land? Well, it all depends on who you are, where you are, and maybe what courtroom you wind up in. Trump has stuck pins in his own balloon. Unfortunately, the point of those pins go through hundreds of real human beings before they puncture the balloon. It's simple. If you follow Trump, then you might as well sign, that do not resuscitate, because you're going down with Trump. And the only way that you can save yourself is to sell your soul. You already sold your soul, but you got to sell the soul that you sold, and that makes you a twice times soulless person. To even entertain the thought of surviving your time with Trump? Consequences and repercussions. And what's really bad is a lot of these people believe, because of who they are and where they are and what last name they got and what skin they were born into, that the law cannot touch them, that they are truly above the law, that people like them and the demagogue, their ideologue, the one that they want to make Jesus, and some are already calling king, they don't, the laws of the United States do not apply to them. They make the laws. They don't live by the laws. Do as I say, do not as I do. It's great for me to make up 1,000 laws to say that you got to pay 1,000,000 taxes, while I make up one law that eliminates me and my family from paying taxes for generations to come. Narcissistic and all the other istics that you can pile on him. Trump is an overachiever in infamy. I mean, maybe not with the World War type stuff, but he ranks right up there with some of the true greats in societal evil, like Hitler and Mussolini and Idi Amin. Trump is that 5-year-old temper tantrum that nobody ever put into. He is a lifelong perpetual temper tantrum. His claim to sorry about that. His claim to fame is being the perpetual bull in the china shop. And a lot of people proudly represented that fact and tried to promote that fact and, did a lot of different things in Trump's name. But just like the Nazis who claimed that they were only following orders during World War II, sooner or later, as an adult person in an adult room, you have to be able to take credit or responsibility for adult things. You have to know when something is over the line, regardless of whether it's the leader of your country, the leader of the world. You have to have some integrity. You have to have some standards. And all of these people know damn well that they were not operating in the purview of their office, their federally sanctioned or their federally elected office, when they did the things that Donald Trump wanted them to do. They had to understand, they knew that they were doing it only for the perpetuation of Donald Trump and thereby the perpetuation of their own self-interest, because they were riding Donald Trump's coattails. That's what conspiracies are all about. People with a like-minded purpose to doing a like-minded thing, and doing it by means that are not necessarily, or actually not even allegedly, but totally illegal. And most of these people wind up under the bus. But the good thing about when they go under the bus, it's the preliminary, it's the prelude to their idol, their king, their demagogue that they help create for the purpose of promoting themselves. By promoting that person, winds up under the bus with them. And that's exactly where Donald Trump is headed, and it's all due to the people that he got to the top when he, stepped on their backs, rode their, their contributions to his demonic rise. And now they're paying the price, and they can't stand the price, so to save their own ass, they gladly, no matter how much it seems to pain them in public, turn over and roll over on Donald Trump. But you know what? I'm not mad. I hope they all turn over. I hope they all roll. I hope they all write volumes of Encyclopedia Britannicas about Trump and his evils. Because Trump, there's no allegedly in it. Trump is an evil. Trump does not belong, does not deserve a return to the White House. Trump doesn't even deserve to be a local dog catcher. Because Trump is insane. Not insane to the point that he didn't know what he was doing, but insane to the point that what he wanted to do was the only thing that was worth doing. We're at that point. Trump is about to be the first madman ex-president dealt with by a less than, let's say, useful sometimes or correct sometimes justice system, but it's the only justice system we have. It's up to the greatest task it's ever had, and maybe somehow, perhaps even that when all of its infallacy, it'll prove to work at least this one time. Well, that's it for me, Uncle Ricky. Oh, by the way, look, got an interview coming up with Helen Robinson, some local politics, County Board of Supervisors, Nottoway County, Virginia, in the 3rd District. I misspoke and said the 2nd District earlier, but it is the 3rd District of Nottoway County for the election coming up for the Nottoway County Board of Supervisors. Will be posted on Wednesday after we tape it. Looking forward to that. Let's hear what Ms. Robinson has to say. Until then, peace out and God bless from Uncle Ricky at Uncle Ricky's house.